Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen? It is the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I am of course back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Rayman Raving Rabbids TV Party for the Nintendo Wii. So last time we actually did done pretty good so far in terms of Saturday. Like after all that, the only time we did actually mess up on, it was actually on the forms of those two songs from the likes of Shake It TV channel. But that's fine because either way though, we did that pretty good run. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we'll present to you the finale in terms of Rayman Raving Rabbids TV Party Let's Play. And because of this though, we're about to be hit on to the final day in the actual story mode, and that's what appears to be by the forms of Sunday. So because of this though, yeah, let's dive right into Sunday, the final day of, you know, story mode campaign. So yeah, let's hop into this. And now Rayman just placed the actual TV on the sink, despite the fact that the Rabbids might able to drown a bit, but regardless of everything else though, is the fact that it'll cause a lot of noise. So because of that though, yeah, and as you can see, that we actually access to two different time slots, like one of them in the morning and the other one from the evening. So of course, if you really want able to finish up the game straight away, just head over to 8 PM to 10 PM, which actually leads us to the final minigame in the entire game. But of course, we'll head on to there sooner or later, because once again, we are going to be going on to Shake It TV channel, and because of that though, we're about to be able to do, what else? A lot of body motions, and because of this though, it will give me a lot of body exhaustion every once in a while, especially noticeable that I just want to get this Let's Play done. Before we move on to the forms of the next few Let's Plays in the future, to be more specifically, you know, Virtual Boy Wario Land, as I promised you guys, especially noticeable that I don't suppose that anyone else ever talks about that game, but I'm sure enough I would able to actually give this game a shot, especially noticeable that I've managed to able to download that game on the emulator. So because of this though, yeah, there's not much else to say here. And of course, the song you're going to be hearing in the background is obviously Jungle Boogie, which I think that song was... I think if I recall correctly, that song was actually from the likes of The Lion King 3, Hakuna Matata, which, you know, the actual montage about the fact that when Timon and Pumbaa are actually giving Simba the hibernation and stuff like that, and just trying to look after him after the events of when Mufasa dies in the first film. So even then though, that, well, at least as far as I'm concerned, that, also the forms of the American version of The Lion King 3, it usually calls it 1.5, or 1.5, sorry. Just because, you know, it follows the exact same events as the first one, but the huge focus is on Timon and Pumbaa. So yeah, you probably get the idea of how this usually turns out to be. So, yeah, obviously today's day is of course the, what today is it today? I totally forgot. Oh yeah, the 16th of April today, in this case in 2021, and it looks like we're now on the halfway point in April so far, so expecting that we might able to actually get some treatments out of the way. Although mind you though, it's the fact that during the forms of about 2 days ago, that I suppose I haven't mentioned about this ever since Journey Forms of on Wednesday, is that we actually got ourselves our new video presentation from Nintendo, which this time around we actually got ourselves the Another ND World. Except this time around though, I'm pretty sure it's more accurately the first ever ND World for this year so far. Like, I think the last time we actually got the ND World is actually by the forms of towards at the very end of this miserable year, 2020. But let's not get ahead of ourselves at this point right now, even though, unfortunately though, I don't suppose I can able to mention about the forms of game announcements for the likes of ND World so far, just because, well, I've already still watched that for quite some time. Maybe it's because I'm pretty much used to with the excitement hyped from the likes of the general Nintendo Direct. Like, obviously we actually had that for about 2 months ago now, so because of this though, I would expect that the next Nintendo Direct presentation, or something like that, will be expected to be happening and during at some point until June. So because of this though, yeah, Especially noticeable because usually E3 is still happening, of course. So because of this though, you probably get the idea about the excitement we're going to be hyped for. Especially noticeable because either way though, it has been like almost 2 years ago since the last E3. Mind you, E3 2020 doesn't count, mind you, just because, you know, it's been cancelled and we're probably not going to get into any further details about this over and over and over again because I'm sure most of you guys already know about this. So yeah, that was it for Jungle Boogie. I actually do really like this particular song, actually, even though that, as you can tell, I didn't exactly beat the high score. But at least I got enough points to able to actually make it pass through. So, in this case, though, let's move on to, oh my god, another Shake It TV channel, which this time we are doing ABC. So, because of this, though, yeah, I think I should probably stick with normal from now on, just because I wasn't expecting if I was going to do the expert difficulty. But it's not gonna happen, just because, well, I'm usually not a big fan of Just Dance series, I have to be brutally honest here. Mainly it's because, well, I usually try one of those games like that, but I'm gonna say, trying to constantly do motion mashing in between those little different dance patterns and all that stuff, it's usually you're gonna have to do this like multiple times in order to able to actually get your body exhaustion going. Is really annoying. I much rather prefer just manage to able to use the controller to able to actually just well, specifically the control stick, by able to actually just trying to deal with the actual all dance mat from the likes of Dancing Stage Mario Mix, or even DK Bongos from Donkey Konga. But that's probably just me anyway though. But as far as Just Dance is concerned, well, I don't usually play that much though, just because, well, again, I did try one back in the day, but I never go around into it. Well, the only redeemable quality about this is, of course, the actual songs themselves. But aside from that though, nah, it's not my cup of tea or anything. So because of this though, yeah, you probably get the idea how this goes. So, and unfortunately, for the sake of time, for the sake of the forms of the majority of Saturday, or Sunday, I should say, in regards to the forms of the last 6 minigames, now I say 6 because on the 7th and the final time slot, we were able to actually expect to able to come across into the final minigame in the entire game. So because of that though, expecting to be, well, a little bit hyped for that point. So because of this though, yeah, something's worth mentioning for this point as well is that, basically, that, during the past few days, it's the fact that I've once again managed to able to purchase myself, well, obviously I've managed to able to actually just to redeem my code from the likes of my Nintendo Switch online membership service recently, because after all, my previous one expires. So it's a good thing I did manage to able to purchase the Nintendo Switch membership service, the 12-month subscription. So because of that, though, I can able to still play online stuff again. To be more specifically, well, I've already managed to able to 100% everything on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but at least I can still play online play and stuff like that to able to actually get some of my time to relax until God knows if Mario Kart 9 will be in existence. So, as a result of that specific stuff, though, that's just as far as I can say about it. I do apologize for the actual, you know, the commentary gets a little bit iffy at points, especially noticeable that, again, this minigame does give me a lot of exhaustion, and it's even a little bit inconsistent when it comes to the forms of you have to do like 3 phases at a time. So expecting that you're gonna have to do this a lot, by the way, and well, there's a good reason why I just managed to able to ignore these kinds of mini-games in the forms of the beginning portion of this Let's Play. But aside from that though, you have to force to play these, otherwise if you don't, then you probably going to guarantee you get your body exhausted. So because of that though, at the end of the day though, as far as the forms of Shake It TV channel, as far as I'm concerned, this is probably my least favorite channel. Mainly it's because, well, sometimes my motion inputs doesn't seem to register all that much. Mind you, I'm blaming on my nunchuck for this once again, so I'm gonna assure you that my timing on these little patterns when it comes to matching the exact same pose as little Stickman right there, as you can see on this little, you know, the copy and movesets kind of thing. That basically that I was good exactly trying to match up to his pattern, but sometimes I keep messing things up with timing and what have you. So, but if you time it well enough, you will be okay, but as long as you weren't able to not mess up most of the time. So, and I was actually really damn close to able to actually beat the high score right there, mainly with like, you know, 1500 points, but that's okay, because even then, though, we actually got enough points to able to make it pass through. So, again, whoever needs the actual presents anyway, or especially noticeable with the actual, you know, rewards kind of thing. So, either way, though, let's move on to the forms of the next channel, which is, oh no. I'm not too crazy with the forms of going to go, you know, trying to force the able to go onto this minigame right here. This is Pimp My Rabbit. And this is basically, it's like a fashion style minigame. And basically, all you have to do is basically get out to able to follow the instructions to see if which one of those rabbits will do required to wear that fashion. So because of this though, out of all the actual minigames we're gonna have to play through, this is probably the most random one of the lot. And it's also very stupidly luck-based as well. Although it does tell you what you're supposed to do, but most of the time you never know if you're able to try to do it the right way. Although it does remind me of a similar thing from the likes of the original Rayman Raving Rabbids, when you're trying to customize Rayman, and also Rayman Raving Rabbids 2, that basically not only you customize Rayman, but also customize your rabbit, and then you can able to use those costumes any way you do, for depending on what minigames you play through. But that's not the case here this time around though, and if you're probably wondering what's up with these lock pads, well, it's pretty obviously is the fact that you weren't able to unlock more costumes. So, yeah, that's as far as I can say about this for the most part right there. So, I suppose we are just gonna have to figure out which one is the correct outfit we're gonna have to deal with. Is it this one maybe? With glasses and all that stuff though? It might help out, but depending on judges, as you can see on this little gauge, it doesn't seem to able to go any further. So because of this though, yeah, I'm afraid we actually did lost this minigame. And because of this though, yeah, it's not gonna let me go through. So, well, there's our first lost minigame. So, but thankfully we can able to try this again. So, hopefully we'll able to try to do this the right way this time. So, but I still can't excuse the fact that this minigame can be a bit luck-based, which, that might be seems a little bit obvious for that standard stuff. But anyways, let's try to do something else, like putting a hair wig, and, also when I was able to... Actually, I'll be fine here. And, beard we'll able to equip, or actually like a zombie face. And as far as the clothing is concerned, perhaps maybe that? I don't know, we'll give this a second chance, but again, it's really random because depending on judges, just like they at the races, basically you can't really judge of what the actual thing is all about, so... And I think that might be enough points, I hope. Oh, just about. So in this case, I got 13 points above from the exact 1,000 or 10,000 points, I should say. So top notch for that. But at least I'm glad that I did manage to make it through, despite the fact that I didn't get the actual awards on that. So, oh well, no big deal. But at least we're going on to the next minigame, which appears to be on Groove On channel. So because of that though, I'm pretty sure this might actually be the final song we can able to do in terms of Groove On. And I get this horrible feeling is the fact that until the next 2 time slots, we have to able to force to deal with the forms of Shake It TV. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to that, honestly. But that's probably just me anyway. So, this time let's go for a singing song this time around. And because of that, though, this will be the last time we're going to be able to, well, do these kinds of mini-games like so. So, because of this, though... another thing I just want to point out, before I mention about more of these other things worth noting for, basically, I've pretty much, speaking of the forms of the Nintendo Switch, I've recently managed to able to redeem, not only £15, but also £25, so that makes a grand total of 40 quid I've managed to add it in to my Nintendo eShop, you know, the gift, funds and all that stuff. And which items did I buy in terms of this eShop's, you know, Nintendo eShop purchase for today? Well, basically, I've now finally managed to download Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion Pass. And because of that though, I am gonna be ready until God knows until when Splatoon 3 will be releasing until next year. So because of this though, yeah, I'm very glad to now finally able to purchase the Octo expansion for Splatoon 2. So it's better late than never, I suppose, because obviously that DLC came out in 2018, of course. So it was just around after when, well, it did came out at some time in June, I could assure to that. So even then, no, specifically on that year in 2018. So, yeah, at least I'm still glad about that. But the only problem with it, though, is the fact that, unfortunately, though, the cloud save is still not available for Splatoon 2. So because of that, though, I could imagine if I was going to transfer some of the stuff from the likes of, imagine if the new Nintendo Switch Pro was a thing, and if I was trying to plan to buy that, well, unfortunately though, Splatoon 2 will not be able to actually become the cloud save data, which can be say applies to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu / Eevee, and also to top it off, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I'm pretty sure it might be the same thing that might as well happen. Until when Brilliant Diamond and Shining Silver, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remake, might actually not have cloud save data, but we'll see what happens during at some point by the end of the year, if perhaps. So either way though, it kind of feels like an amusance anyway when it comes to able to realizing that why don't we get ourselves a cloud save data system when it comes to Splatoon 2? I mean, I might as well be worried if that would still be the case until Splatoon 3 we're about to come out and during at some point next year. But even then though, that's as far as I can usually try to say about this for the most part. And also another thing I should probably point out as well is that yes, I have recently pre-ordered the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity expansion pass, meaning I've managed to actually get ourselves some DLC content. Well, it wasn't going to be available until next month, so even then though, I was still waiting for that. But once that time comes, as soon as I was able to go back onto Age of Calamity at some point until next month, then I should probably able to actually get back into that game a lot more. So yeah, that's as far as I can say about it. So there we go, we've managed able to beat the high score. Thankfully we at least managed able to done one of those high scores we can able to beat from the likes of the forms of Sunday, because compared to the other three, we didn't do that well. So speaking of 3 slots, here we go with the final 3 slots. So in this case, the next channel we're going to be hop into is that once again we are heading back to Shake It TV channel. And because of that though, we are now doing the forms of the next song, which is Luth Freak. And if I recall correctly, I think I remember this song actually, because thanks to the forms of Toy Story 3, managed to actually have that specific song. And, well, spoiler warning for those who have not seen the film already. Basically what that song comes from is the fact that while Barbie is trying to distract Ken from the likes of Ken's house, and basically that, you know, Barbie was curious to see how Ken is going to try out some different outfits, and then boom, the actual Love Freak song actually pops up. So, only for a short while, just because obviously that, you know, Sunnyside Daycare, prison escape kind of way. Which, spoiler alert for those who have not seen the film, which I do apologize for that. Mind you, that Toy Story 3 has been 10 years old, so because of that though, there's not much else to be expected. So, do apologize about that. And if you probably why I just keep on sniffing a lot is because, well, don't get me wrong, that I'm still okay, but it's just the fact that whenever I try to sleep while during the cold weather, that it just makes my nose a bit snuffled up at points. Thankfully, it's not blocked or anything like that, so thank goodness for that. So, at least I'm still fine as it is. So, in fact, let me know in the comments below for the question of the day, in terms of the forms of, well, today actually. Are you still excited in terms of Splatoon 3 until next year? Or if you're able to actually just to be like, well, I don't know what I'm saying for this point right now, just because it has been a couple of days since I actually did manage to able to done a lot of commentaries these days, especially noticeable because, well, as you can see, I'm just easily worn out with this minigame, because otherwise, whenever I was able to actually try to do this minigames like this, I'm never touching that minigame ever again. Although, don't get me wrong, it is an alright idea, especially noticeable how that was before when Just Dance was a thing after all, but most of the time, I'm stuck at these minigames, just because I was able to try to get the right timing and what have you, but most of the time I just keep on messing things up with the actual movements and all the other jazz. So I much rather prefer minigames like Brush, for instance, because that minigame does require faster reflexes and also say applies to the fact that you could potentially try to able to get the idea of you would be able to actually deal with 16 rounds for each time when you play the minigame. And I can honestly try to replay that any day over to this is. And also say applies to that little tractor racing kind of minigame. And also the giant slalom kind of minigame. And also say applies to that jackpot platforming game. So, and even some of these musical instruments rhythm game as well than anything else compared to this. So, but again, I must admit that I do apologize at the forms of the actual commentary itself because I'm just getting pretty exhausted, as you can tell. Because, well, again, you're gonna have to able to do a lot of body motions as well as the forms of a lot of motion controls here and there. So, but at least thankfully that we've almost done and almost at the very end of story mode basically. So I could expect that this will able to take me a lot of time to able to actually just, well, you know, just trying to get some stuff done and over with. So, yeah, that's as far as I can say about it. So, oh yeah, aside from that though, I was expecting if I was able to try to discuss upon, let's just say some more infos in terms of the forms of something else gaming related. Although possibly we could able to potentially try to mention about the forms of the ND World announcements, but I think I should probably save that up and doing at some point next Wednesday, if we decide to do a new Let's Play at some form or another. So, oh, I was literally so close to able to beat the high score from Love Freak, but at least we did that okay. Not the best, but at least we give that a shot. Alright, so next minigame we have, oh my god! Do I really have to do this last one here? Fine, we'll do it anyway. Acceptable for the 80s, which I think that's what the song is called. In fact, I wasn't paying attention to this at all. So, in this case though, yeah, acceptable in the 80s. So, yeah, that's the name of the song. So, I never actually heard of that song, to be honest with you. Mainly it's because I'm more different to certain songs in theory. But, if I was gonna able to try and remember everything, then I have no words to mention in that, so. Alright, so here we go. Last dancing minigame, here we go. I'm telling you for this point, folks, that, again, once we finish up completely in terms of, you know, Shaker TV, then I'm just gonna chill out and then just try to settle down, because this is gonna be exhausting Sunday run through. Although, mind you, that we actually did done 2 other minigames, even though, mind you, that one of them is luck-based, and the other one we did that pretty good. But aside from that, though, Shaker TV is the only one I'd never actually get the high scores from, because, oh, jeez Louise, the movesets is so freaking fast! Almost like the Sonic Speed or something like that. Or the actual Stickman is like, gotta go fast! No, not the Sonic X reference, no. No Sonic X reference, please. Oh, jeez. Oh yeah, another thing I just want to talk about is that recently that Nintendo has just announced there's going to be another color variation of the Nintendo Switch Lite. It's going to be on its way. Now I'm pretty sure it's going to be releasing at some point until next month as well. So to be more specifically, the color choice this time is dark blue. So of course we actually already got turquoise blue ever since in 2019, and also we got black or grey, depending on what specific name you want to call it. Grey and yellow, which both came out in the same year as when turquoise blue color variation came out in 2019. And of course last year we had coral pink, and now for this year we're now having the dark blue color. So I guess that's pretty cool though. Especially noticeable because we actually now got 5 colors of those, you know, Nintendo Switch Lites. Although, the only missing colors I was going to be thinking of for the wish list until the actual future years is to come. Possibly we might get the green color, or the chocolate color, or just the red color to be more specific. But aside from that though, we have no words for the likes of other color variations at the moment, so. Yeah, that's as far as I can say about it. I'm guessing that the reason why the dark blue color is going to exist from the likes of the Nintendo Switch Lite is most notably because of Miitopia is going to be on its way during the forms of next month as well. So, I was a bit skeptical at first though, but I was like, nah, probably not going to get it honestly, just because, well, it is a cool idea that you can able to actually play as your Mii on the RPG kind of game, and plus it's great able to actually have that game again on Nintendo Switch, and despite the forms of the price tag, it's getting a little bit higher compared to the forms of the 3DS original, so yeah, it might be seems a little bit of a waste of money if the actual game plays out exactly the same, aside from new content. But aside from all that stuff, though, that's the reason why I managed to able to don't buy Pikmin 3 Deluxe, because I'm still pretty much Pikmin out. Especially noticeable, I no longer have Let's Plays of Pikmin, Pikmin 2, and Pikmin 3 on our channel. Mainly it's because the amount of views that we had is very little. So because of this, though, yeah, I'm sorry to say that for this point, Pikmin fans, is that we essentially quit the Pikmin series now, just because, well, I'm just essentially Pikmin out, as I said. But I digress, and there you have it, folks. That concludes Shaken TV. God. Oh, man. But at least we got that out of the way. So now we got ourselves the final time slot on Sunday, and this takes place in 8 PM to 10 PM. Now, if you're probably wondering what's up with this final minigame, you're probably wondering. Well, if we dive right in, then we actually got ourselves the 8th channel, which is not found in any other time slots. This appears to be by the forms of this channel over here, Channel Flick, also known as Mega Clicker from the likes of North American release, if I recall correctly. But either way, though, we'll click on there. And this comes from No Brainer channel, which I think this might actually be the only No Brainer channel that usually exists from the sake of this particular, you know, story mode. And basically what this is that, taking a notice from the WarioWare games, basically we have to go through a serious amount of adverts while you do it with a short time limit. So it's like a micro minigame or something like that. So because of that though, if you succeed, then you get some points. However, just like in WarioWare, you have 4 lives. So if you run out of lives, then you have to start all over again. So yeah, that's something worth noting for. If you ever played WarioWare games before, you know exactly how this plays out. Oh, we actually have something new here. If my pointer doesn't go completely jacked all. But at least we managed to click the rain cloud. So I think, depending on how fast you do for those little quick time events, basically it's the fact that you would able to get points based off from how much time you got. So at least we're doing so well anyway. So anyways, now let's move on to... Oh, dang it! I think my Wiimote doesn't respawn all that much. But at least we lost 1 life. But at least we can still able to continue things off at this point, you know, much like in WarioWare. So, again, if you somehow lose to this, then you're gonna have to start all over. So, yeah, just keep this in mind. Alright, so 6 turns left. Oh, we have something new here as well. Although, mind you, I don't think we can... No, we're not gonna make it. I'm pretty sure you do need the nunchuck for that particular micro game right there, which, if I'm not mistaken correctly. But at least we can able to do this little deodorant one, no problem. So yeah, you're gonna come across into the forms of, let's just say, some random adverts. And mind you, you only got like 12 rounds to do it. So because of this though, if you do it successfully, then you would complete the actual game. Alright, so it looks like we've got 3 rounds left. I'm hoping I can get enough points, so that way I can get ourselves a special costume I can get. But, what's the point anyway? Just because, well, obviously we've almost at the end of this Let's Play for now. So, anyway, let's toss that little thing here. And make him a little bit more fatter. And let's see what this last advert is going to be. And it's gonna be... Okay, so we got ourselves the pizza one. Thankfully, we didn't get ourselves the carrot one, just because you have to be ridiculously fast on that one, so... But anyways, once you complete that, then you get yourselves this message. You won. Your brain is easily influenced. Yeah, absolutely. And when you got the highest score, you get yourselves a fishbowl. So, yeah, it seems kind of random, but it knows what it is. So anyways, let's watch the ending to Rayman Raving Rabbit TV Party to see if how the TV is going to react.
Oh.
So yeah, in the end though, the Rabbids has now been freed from the likes of their cracked TV, and well, they now start to chase Rayman again. So because of this though, and then Rayman just runs off in the process, so yeah, God knows if he was trying to escape from those Rabbids anytime soon. Well, it wasn't until in 2009, where the Rabbids are now going to be able to become their own franchises. Well, to be more specifically, you know, when Rabbids Go Home exist, and even Raving Rabbits Travel in Time, and even Rabbids Land on the Wii U, and Alive and Kicking for the Xbox 360 Kinect, and especially noticeable with Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, but at least they managed to well, team up together, to be more specifically with Rabbid Mario, Rabbid Luigi, Rabbid Peach, and Rabbid Yoshi. So because of this though, yeah, that's just pretty much how this will usually goes, as far as the future of, you know, Raving Rabbit series as a result. So, yeah, let's talk my final thoughts about the forms of Rayman Raving Rabbit's TV Party. I'm gonna say, after replaying for this particular game, for not just for this Let's Play, but for my own time as well, after, like, a whole decade ago since I actually last touched this game, it's not too bad. I think I will have to be honest here, I think this is probably one of my least favorites in terms of the original Rayman Raving Rabbids trilogy as far as games are concerned on the Wii. This is pretty obviously because I'm pretty much used to with the forms of Rayman Raving Rabbids 1, despite its age, but also Rayman Raving Rabbids 2, that does manage to take place in some pretty interesting minigames, all things considered, despite the forms of some motion control issues on certain minigames for sure. But regardless of everything else though, I don't think this game wasn't all that bad. It's just that it's not one of my favorites though either, so because of this though, let's get to the positive things though. First of all is the fact that usually the only thing is worth noting for is the fact that the graphics do look really alright, especially noticeable this was the third Rayman Raving Rabbids game of course, and especially noticeable that the intro cutscene, and especially several cutscenes in particular, does look pretty nice though. Especially noticeable they managed to able to now incorporate it with the actual animate tone from the likes of those Rabbids designs. So it does feel kind of weird at first, but regardless of everything else though, there's not much else I can honestly try to talk about. So and aside from that, the soundtrack is actually pretty nice as well, even though they might actually contain a lot of emphasis on pop culture music every once in a while. Whilst compared to the forms of how it does it on the original game, they did manage to use that a lot for the sake of the forms of 15 days or something like that. Well, as far as the forms of Rayman Raving Rabbids 2, as far as I'm concerned, they only just managed to select about, let's just say about 6 songs. Well, yeah, because I say 6 because of Funky Town, that if you do manage to unlock every single minigame on the forms of Rayman Raving Rabbids 2, basically. So because of this though, Yeah, there's not much else I can usually think about it. Well, in this game in particular, it does have a lot of emphasis on pop culture songs, which I'm fine with that, even though put it on YouTube might be a bit problematic because of the forms of copyright claims and all that stuff. But aside from all that stuff, though, it's actually not too bad. Controls-wise, they're pretty good for the most part, except the fact that, well, only forms of, you know, Shake It TV, that I swear the actual timing wasn't exactly all that precise as I liked it will be. And also to top it off is that several minigames might have a bit of a control issue, to be more specific with my problems with my nunchuck and all that stuff, which that might be seems the case, mind you. So either way though, still, you never know until everything else goes all horribly wrong and everything. And once again, I do have to amend to this particular section right there, just because of, you know, copyright claims and stuff like that. So, again, I do apologize for that, but that's just how it is for me. So, anyway, and also the story was nothing special, but at least it did something slightly different, like to be more specifically, that you're now able to control the Rabbids as opposed to Rayman this time around. Whilst unlike the first two, that you can able to take control of Rayman at all times on the original game, and as far as the second game, you can able to choose either Rabbids or Rayman, so at least that's something, alright. And the third game, basically you just play as the Rabbids the whole way time, just because the Rabbids are stuck in TV. So, that's as far as I can say. And, the gameplay, pretty much solid for the most part. It's still a minigame compilation. Like, there are some minigames that are pretty fun to play through, like Brush, for instance, and also Prison Fake. I always enjoyed that as well. And, that's pretty much as far as I can say. So, even then though, the only downsides I can think of is the fact that, obviously, despite you not playing as Rayman in this game, just because after all, that Rayman is pretty much on the outside of the TV, so because of that though, you can't play as him, so... And, also another thing as well, I can't stress enough how much I hate, Shake It TV minigames, because I already said this before, but I'm gonna say this again. I swear, my inputs on motion controls sometimes doesn't register, mainly because of my nunchuck problems. But apart from those side of things though, it's always a bit of an aggravation for me. So, yeah, that's as far as I can say in terms of Rayman Raving Rabbids TV Party. So, you might as well able to give this a rent if you want to give this a try, or if you want to be more curious, is that if you're lucky enough, if you're able to actually just have found the second-hand shops in certain countries, as far as I'm aware. Well, I think it only exists in Europe, or something like that. That basically is the fact that there is actually this little cool compilation, which is usually calls it, you know, Raving Rabbids Party Collection, which if you want to get that, basically you can able to actually get not only Rayman Raving Rabbids, but also the second game, and also TV Party, all in one particular compilation. So, if I were you, you might as well go for that, unless if you want to get the physical versions of, you know, the 3 individual games, as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, that's pretty much as far as I can say in terms of Rayman Raving Rabbids TV Party. I did have a good time on it, at least at the very beginning, but in the end, though, it just feels exhausting at the end, especially with all this, you know, Shake It TV minigames. Just kills my arms, kills my legs, and all that stuff. But it knows what it is for me. So, yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy this Let's Play, and this is me, Sonic the Hedgehog from the Maxi Toys. And until then, I am about to see you guys in the next playthrough. So, enjoy this scene, and thanks for watching.
Ah!